Oh man. Happy Sunday, everybody. March the 12th, 2023. For those of you that don't know, I am Tack, and over to, I guess, the way you're looking at it, to my left, I'll let him introduce himself, whatever
Yes.
he wants the people
The
to call
no.
him. Okay, I
The
guess the
no.
no. Anywho.
And one thing also, happy birthday.
Oh, well, thank you. You couldn't have just did this the pre-production. You had to say it when we're recording. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, but it's my week, so you know what we're about. We're about the hot topics this week. And so this week there's this trend. Well, I'm sure it's been going on for a while, but it's been brought to my attention. It's called Passport Bros. For those of you that don't know what this is about, it's basically men, I would say in different age ranges, honestly. I've seen some older, some younger. They're leaving the current dating scene they're in behind to go overseas to find wives and girlfriends, and it's drawing a lot of backlash from
Really?
the women that are in the community that they're leaving, causing them to go after the women that they're going to date and marry and everything like that. So there's a lot of different perspectives going on with this whole situation that is occurring right now. And I guess we'll go ahead and start off with you with your opinion or whatever take you want to provide on this first.
I'm looking at the fact that if you see a increased number of people going outside the country, you should ask yourself why.
Mm.
The women should be asking themselves, why are men doing this?
And,
And the best person that, but I know why, and and I understand, but the women who are having the issues need to ask that question.
mm. And I think the majority of it was from they it's the subservient attitude. They didn't want to be subservient to their man or whatever the case may be. Whereas it seems like a lot of the women overseas, like they'll treat like you said, there's a lot of different rumblings I'm hearing from this. Like there's some women that are like, yeah, just treat him well and everything like that. Let him be a man and lead and everything. As far as the women that are overseas, right? And then there's some
Look,
that, or like they'll handle what they need to handle, but they take on more of the role of the woman in the relationship, as far as being there to take care of and assist in which way. And I think a lot of the women over here, well, not here, but wherever the guys are leaving from, I know there's some here in the US, and then there's some like
oh, absolutely, a
so
lot
yeah.
here in the U.S.
uh,
and
the
other
right, there's
parts,
other
the
places,
world
so
as well.
it's not just specifically here, but they have an issue with that, because it's like, well, we can do all that here, but the men are like, well, no, you want to have your cake eat it too. You want to do X, Y, and Z, and then they meet a man, and everything that comes with that. Pay your own bills, but have somebody there that you can spend their money, this, that, and the third. And so a lot of men in the dating scene are getting fed up with that and are leaving. And so, like I said, this caused the women to go after the women overseas, which caused the women overseas to do rebuttals like, no, no, we don't have those. That basically they said the American values and everything. Like, we take care of our men over here. And it's just been a whole situation that's been spiraling out of control. And I think this has been going on. Well, it's picked up momentum recently, but I mean, I
But it's
can,
going to get bigger. It's going to get
right,
even bigger because it's going to be the new
but
norm.
I think there's only so much as far as going overseas that can you know what I mean, like can handle it. Because I don't think they're going to get to a point. I think the government might start to get involved in that, as far as more people coming to visit and live there, because they have different rules and regulations over in those countries. You
And
see what I
so,
mean? So
but you have to look at it. if you're talking about
Mm,
average men will probably not extend their reach is not as far.
right.
But I'm talking about that, 1% or that small group of engineers, doctors, lawyers, educated men who are fed up with the Western lifestyle, women mindset, and they have the means to go over there and procure one of these women that have the old style values, you know, of 1950s that we used to have here.
Mm,
These men can afford to go over there and get the woman that's cooperative, who believes in the old values. And this is what men want. This average men, and everything else. This is what they want. They've been there. What they want from a woman has not changed. It doesn't change every year. It doesn't change, every week. This is the same thing they wanted from the beginning. And these other countries, the women there growing up in those values, have the same. I want, they look at being 25 as I missed the boat. I should have been married. I should have had a family by now. Over here, 25, they say, oh, I'm just getting party started.
right.
And I'll wait for that family. I'll wait for that. I'm going to enjoy myself. So, yes, men are looking for the old values: cooperation, happiness, a woman who appreciates them the way they should be appreciated. And I'm not talking, this is what men want. Period. It's not hard. Ask any man. He'll tell you. He don't need a degree. He don't need a, guy who has his own means. Don't need a woman with money. Don't need all this. Don't need your degrees. Don't need all that. They just want a wife. They want somebody to enjoy life with. They don't. They don't need all that, and that's what they're getting overseas.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it from what point it will it. I know you say it's going to keep growing, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I understand that there's a possibility for it to keep growing, but then at some point, like I was stating earlier, it could get into the point of where regulations start getting involved because those companies try to not companies, those countries try to regulate the population so there's not overpopulation and they have food to sustain everybody. Um,
Well, they bring it back here.
yeah, I mean,
So,
there's some that do that, yeah, 100%.
right.
And I know there's that used to be a thing for some women as well when they would what was it the wasn't that a trend like a while back ago when they would marry an African man so he can get a green card to come live in the US or something like that. Um,
Absolutely. I think it still
so
goes on
I,
today.
probably. I mean, I haven't really heard anything about it recently,
Right.
but I know
Yes.
that was a thing at one point. I mean, yeah, they can bring them over here, but I feel like depending on where they're at, they might catch some of that flack for being brought up. The wife specifically, not the man. I'm pretty sure the man's not going to really care if they bring over, but if the wife starts getting into those social groups and everything, it's going to be a culture shock for her. And
But the thing is, you looking at it in a Western's eyes. They don't have that same
oh, I know they don't.
mindset
I know they don't.
over
But
there as they do here.
what I'm saying is, if she gets introduced to, she got married and brought over, but if she
Mhm,
has those same mindsets, your opinions can always be changed. Is what I'm getting at. So if
mhm.
she ends up meeting those circles, those social circles, and getting with the not necessarily the wrong crowd, but gets into those circles, and then her opinions start changing, then you may end up being in the same situation you were at before you went to go bring her over. So I don't know if they're necessarily, I don't know if they're going out their way to bring them more so over than they
That's
would be,
neutral, a neutral
exact,
spot, a neutral
exactly,
spot other than
exactly.
here.
That's what
Wow.
I'm saying. Because
Because I think Eddie Murphy did something about that. He
yeah,
got somebody and then they changed.
yeah,
What's but
right.
I get that. But when when you get a young lady
Mm,
from another country, let's think about this. 25. She thinks she's passed. She's missed it. She missed the boat. She's not married. She don't have kids. That's how it used to be here. That's how it used to be. Now, now it's like, oh, you don't need a man. Oh, I'll get married when I'm 38, 40. You really way past the mark now. So when people with the modern Western mindset and with you you have to look when you look at the system that's in place here in the US, what benefit is it to marry you're successful, what benefit is it to marry a modern Western woman?
I mean, depending on the person, they're probably going to say none. But
Because you get divorced.
yeah,
If she decides to leave, half of your stuff is gone.
right.
You writing checks. You got kids. The kids are gone. What benefit is it?
Like I said, depending on
I
the
see a
person.
bunch of liabilities. I see a bunch of liabilities. I don't see any benefit.
Depending on the person, they might see it as a benefit. I don't know, but I know the average answer would probably be none. So yeah, it's just very interesting that this is a current trend that's going on right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is the means. This is going to be the new norm.
Result.
Going, yeah,
Right.
this is going to be the new norm. So that's why I'm saying it's interesting because this was literally brought to my attention 2 weeks ago by a friend of mine. It's like, hey, you should check this out, and I was like, oh, so this is what's really happening in the world is people, I've seen a couple of videos, and don't get me wrong, yeah, it can be enticing, but they don't talk about all the stuff that actually goes on over there in those countries as well. Yes, you may be going over there to get married or get you a wife or whatever, but people will know that you are a foreigner, and they tend to take advantage of people that are foreigners. So you got to be careful of your intentions when you go over there.
Let's wait. Let's do the wait.
I mean,
Weigh it out. Weigh it out.
I think they're pretty
What's
much equal at that point. If you're looking at the four, like if you're looking at the foreigner if you add the foreigner portion onto that, it's just like, well, I can be stabbed, I can be robbed, I can, people hold me hostage, this, that, and the third, whatever.
well, they got systems in place like dating um platforms where kind of like here, with the
Yeah,
dating
but
platform.
you don't know
You,
anything
you
there. You
that's
you don't know
absolutely.
anything there. Whereas here, it's in your area, right? So you're familiar with your area. You go over there, you don't know anything. Somebody, yeah, we'll meet up, and then a car pulls up, and you get tossed in the car, and then that's it basically. So there's some drawbacks to it as well. Don't get me wrong, but I understand the main reason for it happening. I get it. I understand that. So I don't know what that's going to do as far as the women that are here, if that's going to have any impact on them. Like
I
I've
hope
seen.
it should. It should.
I mean,
They
yeah,
should wake up and realize that they need to change what they're doing.
I understand that, but just like with a lot of other things, it's usually always the loudest ones that get the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So there may be a
Mhm.
lot of women that are out there that are like, "Oh, this is unfortunate." A lot of people are leaving this, that, and the third. But you have the ones that are being the loudest that are overshadowing the other women that are causing the communication disconnect, and or the back and forth with the other women that are attracting these men that are going over there for them or whatever. um and it's just, I don't know if it's gonna get any I don't even know, man. This is an interesting thing to like, I really don't know what to say, really. Like it's just mind blowing to me that it's coming to this point where we're leaving the country to go marry overseas. No, don't get me wrong. I know there's some people that want to marry over somebody overseas because that's the type of woman they may like or whatever the case may be. They can't find it here in their area. I get that. There's a small percentage that may be doing it just specifically for that. They don't have any inkling of what's going on as far as the Western woman or anything like that. But a vast majority that are leaving over there is just like, ugh. Well, not vast majority, but it's starting a trend where people are leaving and making videos about it on this platform to make other men open their eyes, like, hey, you can have all this, for pennies on the dollar, essentially.
It's it's not about the money.
Right. No, but I'm saying like the cost of living is way cheaper, way cheaper in those places that they're going compared to here.
Well, well, the thing is, now if they work for someone or they own their own business, they still have to travel. They will have to travel and stuff like that. So it makes sense if you're not in that country, you be in a neutral place where both parties in a new environment or whatever, and you feel safe or whatever.
Right.
But you have women have to realize that their options are different than our options. Okay, at 25, the I'm using 25 as that
Uh-huh.
missed the boat. The women here, 25 is not missing the boat. They still think they got time. They got all this time, and when they realize men can go overseas and find a wife, and they in their 40s, 50s, 30s, wherever, and they can find a wife. What what is a 40 or 50-year-old woman gonna find overseas? The options are different.
Mm.
Yeah, they're not gonna be traveling overseas to find a husband. And if they do, you better look for a scam. You definitely need to look for a scam or some type of you better have your antennas up because it's something up with that. You see it all the time, women getting pulled into relationship, older women. This happens in the UK and other, England and places like that. They go over to these places and meet a husband or something like that. And they're older and these men are younger and they end up being scammed,
Mm.
sending money and things like that. Men, on the other hand, they could go there and get a wife and come back. So what I'm saying is we need to fix the problem here. The only way to stop this from moving forward or gaining momentum is women got to realize, listen to the man. He's telling you what he wants. Stop trying to tell the man what he wants and stop trying to tell him how to get it done. You're going to have to accept this. No, we don't. We don't have to accept it.
So what about okay, I hear everything you say. There's been a couple of occasions where I've talked to people that say they got married young and
Mhm,
that they weren't essentially ready at that point. Like I hear you with the whole 25 thing
mhm.
in a lot of other cultures and that's the way they're brought up.
We
But I
used to
mean
be brought
that
up that way
well
too.
yeah.
Same way here
I mean that
as
just
well.
seems that just with everything that's going on well now maybe back in the 1900s where you were living and everything like that that was acceptable but there's so many other things
It worked though. It worked.
there's so many other things now that have to go on like you can't really you can't really get, well, you can, but it's a lot harder being married at 25. Like
Okay,
you have your schoolings, things that take a lot longer to do, essentially. Um,
all right. No, I'm right there on that point. But we having people having kids by the time they're 25,
oh,
they got
it,
4 kids
oh,
though,
I mean, there's
with
nothing.
no father in the house, right?
Yeah, there's nothing I can say about that. But I'm
So
looking at it. No,
I'm saying
I'm looking at it from the perspective. Like I said, there's people that I've talked to that are a little bit older than me that are like, yeah, I got married at a young age, and I wasn't ready. This, that, and the third. That are kind of closer to your age group. And so
mhm.
when you're saying, get married at 25, they missed the boat. I was just like, yeah, but I mean, you have some people that, yeah, they say they missed the boat, but then there's others that say they got married at a young age and like, yeah, I wasn't really, because I mean, you're still growing at 25, and you're still growing. You're still developing who you are, because you're not gonna know who you are. You really don't know who you are until I would honestly say until probably like your 30s.
that that's for men. That's the timeline for men. It's a different timeline for women.
So, but I
Sorry,
mean,
it
but
just
here's
is.
the
It's just okay. A man who's 38, 40
but
marries
what?
a 25-year-old is totally different
But why would you be marrying a 20? We talked about it. Why would you be marrying a 25-year-old, bro? Like we talked, we
because
like
because
I'm.
either you're gonna meet and grow together, or you're gonna have to wait till that person matures to the point where they can take care of you in a family. So what I'm saying is that timeline is extended for men to get themselves established to take care of
But
a woman and have kids.
we talked about this age gap in another episode, talking about if you're dating somebody 10 plus years outside of your age range, like what, you're still a young chick, as you say, chickadee or whatever you want to call them, a little young buck and a little young chick or whatever, and you're dating somebody, a grizzled vet. It's just like, what, we talked about this, like that goes into that category. It's like it's not so much you missing a boat. It's just like you at that point you're dating because you want to change somebody's mindset to match align more so with yours at that point, right? Like if you're dating that far of a range, like I really don't know a whole lot of people that
Well,
dated that far of a range.
I'm not saying that you can't marry someone 25, 25. The person's 25, you're 25. What I'm saying is it's very hard to find someone, the man, to be at a point where he can take care of a household and she doesn't have to work. She just stays home, takes care of the child. It takes time. It takes time. You got to go to school, college, then you got to get established in a company or start your own company, and you have to have a established foundation to build a family. And by that time, you're in your mid to late 30s or maybe 40s. Now, the in the Western style, you would have to go down to maybe 20, 25 to find a wife that probably can have some of the
Nah, bro.
values of being
Nah, bro.
cooperative. Hold on, hold on, hold
Nah,
on, hold on,
bro.
hold on, hold on,
No, bro.
hold on.
No, bro. I can't. No.
Now,
But go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish. But no.
but the thing is, it takes time for a man to get established and take care of family. That time doesn't necessarily mean that okay. Let's say it takes me 38 years to get to where I need to be. I'm 38 years old now. I'm looking for a wife. If I find a wife that's 38, more likely she's has the Western modern woman mentality. Like it's too masculine. It's too masculine. So you have to drop down below that to someone that appreciates you so you can build a family with. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I hear you saying you got to drop down low, but at that point, you're dropping down lower into an age category where they're looking at the financials. They're not looking at what you. A lot of people in that age category, they're all about the instant gratification. Show me the money. So you're kind of you're on a slippery slope, whatever way you look at it, regardless. But yeah, I don't know.
But that's why people are going overseas
No, I get you.
because because like you said, over here the mentality and they're being raised a certain way with the mindset, oh, I can get a divorce, I get half or whatever, I get tired of this, and I can just get a divorce and I'll walk away with half and the
Shoot.
kids, you know. And when you go overseas with the I guess Eastern mindset, that they believe in family. They want the family. They want to stay married. Being getting a divorce is not a good thing.
Right.
So
I don't know. It's just there's so many different ways you can look at this. I just that whole age disparity thing. If that's happening, that's kind of I don't know. Me personally, I in my opinion, I always said 10 years was probably a decent range.
mhm.
Like, but even then, that's still kind of stretching it. Um, but it's just like if you're looking at 15 years, like you're 40 marrying a 25-year-old, it's like, bro, like I
That's
don't
what
know.
they're doing overseas.
No, I know, but
That's
that's
what they're
over.
doing.
It's just I know they're doing it, but I'm just saying it's just like there's just so many. There's so many things that just I don't know. It just
But the mindset over there was or is 25, you missed the boat.
no,
So
I
now
get
you
that.
got some guy that's got financial means can give you a better life than what you're living, to give your children a better life than what you had, coming over there and marrying you.
Well,
What would you say? No, I'm not going to get married.
I mean, they might.
What does love have to do with it?
I mean, at that point, you're talking about the financials. Uh, mm,
Better life, better life. But only thing the man's asking for, he's not even asking for love. He asks for cooperation. He's not even asking for love. He's asking for cooperation. I don't want to argue every time I come home. I just want to have peace in my home. I want a wife that respects me. That's all he's asking. Love, okay,
so
that's the caveat. That's
So what about the ones that see? I just hope that those out there that are doing that learn that language because you probably getting cursed out every way to Sunday and you don't even know. Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. And she's sitting there cursing you out, calling you every name under the sun. You ain't gonna know anything. So I mean, just like she's just
you'll learn the language. You'll learn it.
you say that.
You'll
You say that. No,
you'll learn.
it's just like I guess it just depends on where you. Well, most of the time, from what I'm seeing, it's mostly like I think it's like what Thailand. That's where most of them are going. It's like
So
Thailand or
what did
somewhere
you
like
see
that.
when you saw? When your friend showed you this stuff? What did it look like to you?
I was like, it looked like the average nightlife from what I was seeing on like the YouTube videos or whatever. It's like okay, average nightlife, but there's a lot of things that go on, and there's a lot of things that go on over in Thailand, and I know a lot of people out there know what I'm talking about, and so it's just like you got to be careful. You got to be careful when you're out there. And it's just like no, bro. Um, I'll take my chances here. I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances here. Um,
Oh man,
because I can't. I could
you
not
just got to be strong. You got to be strong. You got to be strong. That's
be strong and end up messing around with the
mind, strong mind.
yeah, strong mind get you caught up with the woman more masculine than you. And you mess around out there. And it's like, what? Nah, bro, I'm good. But it's like in those kind of areas is where I see a lot of people are going. Um,
I hear Russia, Ukraine, um, places like that. What's the Yeah, you know, oh, I guess some places in Africa probably as well.
Yeah, I really haven't seen
So
anything for Africa yet, but I'm sure it'll pop up at some point. But it's like I said, it's really been like the eastern, like Thailand and all those areas, those
yeah,
areas around there.
uh,
I think
yeah,
I've seen one for South America, but
The
yeah,
Philippines, you can find that
Philippines is
as
a big
well.
one.
So yeah, but it's cooperation. It's the old values that what's the value of having both parents in the home? It you know the kids have a better chance when it's a two parent home. It doesn't matter the numbers, you know, 40 to 25 or 40 to 30. That that really doesn't play a factor. It's having both loving parents there in the home providing for the kids.
Well, I mean,
We're losing that now.
there's been another there's been another study
Right?
that has been done recently, and I want to break. I lost the TikTok for it, but basically they were saying that the kids end up being better off being raised by the father
Absolutely.
than the mother. Uh,
That's how it used to be. The fathers used to get custody of the kids
mm,
during any kind of divorce or any kind of separation like that. It is. It's a fact.
well, I mean, either way, there's caveats to everything, but that's neither here nor there. I just thought it was interesting, and I wanted to get your opinion and
Well, will you
seeing.
please find that and send that to me because
I
I
will,
like this
I will send it to you. It
because
was a
I
TikTok I
it's
saw like
something
2
I
days
know.
ago. It's something you know.
I mean, listen, you look at what's going on today.
Hmm.
The end result, the shootings, the killings, the emotional reaction to situations from men, you know it stems from something. Men men the has been placed on the back burner in this society.
Hmm.
They've been ridiculed, they've been down, tried anytime to bash a man, hey, it's all good. It's all good. It's only when men stand up and say, this is wrong, something needs to change, that you get an uproar from everybody saying, oh, he's wrong, he's this, he wants control and all this stuff. No, no, it's not that. It's just it's proven. It's men. They, this is what I ask. Give the men the chance. So if everything is point to one thing this way, let's try another way. Let the men have custody.
Hmm.
Let's just try it. See how it turns out. I mean, we know what we're getting the other way around. Let's see what happens.
I mean, if that was the case, then there's some other things that we there's some other things that would have to go down for that. Um, so I don't think the world is ready for those kind of changes. So,
It- it- but let's think about this. You think the laws of this country has made it so that the family unity or
the
unit
the
is not
laws
important?
the laws weren't made with family in mind.
That's right.
Like you know this, and I know this. The laws were made for the the people who feel threatened.
For
Right?
votes,
Yeah. The laws weren't made for family or you and me. They were made for the people that came over here, the head of the household. Uh,
that's right.
so that's where that they didn't have any other thoughts in their mind about that when those laws were being founded. But
This
the passport bros thing, like I said, I get it, kind of weird, but I understand why people are doing it.
is
It
going
just
to
only
increase.
just only weird from the fact that I don't think it's the average man. You know, of course, these are people that are probably either creators in this space or people that are well off right now that are doing it. But I don't think the average, like every single person, is going over there and doing it. It's probably like
That's right.
the
Well,
one
they can't
percent. But
afford it. You got to
right.
save your coins to be able to do it. But if you see anything out there, I suggest this just like Amazon, how it blew up. If you see anything to invest in some type of dating, you know, overseas type um software or platform or whatever, invest in it.
Well, by that time, it's already gonna be too
It's
late.
gonna go up.
By that time, it'll already be too late. You need to get in on when the on ground
That's right.
zero.
I'm saying it right now.
No,
Invest
but
in it now.
I hear you. But I'm saying most of the time when that stuff comes out, it's already too late. They're priced at a ridiculous number to where you can't really buy any shares. So you need to
Well,
have
start
somebody.
one. Let's start one.
Hey, if I had the if I was the engineer, trust me, it would have already been done.
That's
It would
right.
already been done. But we help. Like I said, this is a rapid fire week. My week, it was short and sweet. Keep it to the point. We don't have it long and dried out like raisin
Yeah,
bran and frosted shredded wheats. Like my co-host over here.
but it's
Uh,
filling.
but
It's
let me
filling, and
let
it tastes great.
let me guess. You wake up and like, I'm gonna have some. I can't wait to eat a bowl of raisin bran today. Who
That's
says that?
right.
Who says that?
Healthy people.
No, no, no. They don't. But we hope you all enjoyed today's episode. Once again, I'm Tack. That is, I guess he says the
The no,
no or whatever.
Jay.
Um,
The no.
okay. And we'll see you all next week. You all have a great rest of your week. If you have any other topics or anything that you want to hear us talk about, let us know in the comments or reach out. I think I have the social media stuff up. We'll reach out on social media or whatnot, and we'll try to get them answered when we can. But until
Yeah,
then,
and please subscribe and pass it on to
so
somebody else.
you can't pass on a. Okay.
I mean, I'm talking about pass on the podcast to someone. Share it. Share it.
You can't pass on a
Share it.
subscription
Pass it
link.
on. All
Okay,
right.
we're done here. We're done here.
All
This
right.
man just showed his
Happy
age.
birthday, old man.
He
Happy
just showed
birthday,
his
old
age.
man.
We're out of here. Thank you, man. Later.